I love her. Yeah, am I on? Okay. So, welcome to our broadcast as well to Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to our Sunday service. So glad you can be with us today. So, my topic today is called It's the Law. But before we get started with that, it's the law. Before we get started with that, we're going to have our opening prayer. So let's just come into our place here, come into the presence of the divine that is within each and every one of us, and be grateful for the connection, the relationship that we have, that which is so sacred. And feel the sacredness and the love, the unconditional love that is yours to be had just because you were born, just it's your birthright. And feel that divinity because you are truly beautiful and divine, as our song said. And just feel the expansion of that in our hearts. We bless our space today in the sermon and the message that each and every one of us will hear in our own minds and our own hearts. And for that, we are grateful. Amen. Okay. Whew, remembered how to do an opening prayer. What do you know? Good thing for Dick to be gone once in a while. Flex those muscles. Yeah, so my message today is called It's the Law. I've been reading this book that was gifted to me by a friend, and it's called The Intelligent Heart, Transform Your Life with the Laws of Love. And it's based on the studies of Edgar Cayce. So they've taken Edgar Cayce's work and then studied it and extrapolated from that some of the universal laws that he taught and operated from. And the authors of the book is David and Bruce MacArthur, and they are father and son. So yeah. So anyway, it's a really good book. I'm enjoying it. I have to take it slow because I'm a slow reader for one, and I have to live it. It's like I read a line and it's like, whoa, that was cool. And I put the book down. I haven't even read a page yet, and I'm done for the day. So it takes me a long time to finish a book. I'm envious of these people that can just go through and read a book in a day. It's like, not me. A year maybe, because I read a line. I got to quit. Yeah. But anyway, it's a good one. I'm enjoying it. There's several universal laws that the authors are exploring in this book, and I haven't gotten to the title's namesake of the universal law of love yet, but I know that that's going to be good fodder for a future message when I do get to it. So the couple of universal laws that I'm reading about right now, one of them is the universal law that of cause and effect. So, and then the other one is the law of transformation. Well, a universal law. So, what first define what is a universal law? What is it that constitutes a universal law? It's a principle of creation that operates in all phases of humankind's life and existence for all humans everywhere, all the time. It's universal. So, it's a universal law is something that is consistent. This law will be applied to every person everywhere all the time. You can count on it. And from my most recent experience of a universal law of matter, I learned that two cars cannot occupy the same space in an intersection in this third dimensional reality. I'm pretty sure there's the law of matter around that, and I experienced it. So for those of you that aren't aware, last week I was involved in a pretty serious auto accident. All the humans are fine. The cars are going to car heaven, but not the people. We're all good. So I'm very grateful. So there's the law of gratitude being applied, and on every turn for both of us. So anyway, I tested out the law, this universal law of matter, and I don't need to test it again. It's true. You can't occupy two pieces of material in the same space in third dimension. I'm sure there's other dimensions, as we believe in dimensional realities that are happening, but not in the same one. Yeah. So the two laws that I'm reading about, the law of cause and effect and the law of transformation, They're pretty simple, particularly the one of cause and effect. It sounds really simple until it's not. It's we do this and this happens. It seems simple, but until it's in our life and we're experiencing an effect, it's not so simple to find the cause. And we can think it through. Well, we have an action or a non action that we're experiencing that we've done, our choice, our way, whatever, or somebody else has an action or a non action that impacts us. That's cause and effect. Even not acting, not making a decision has an effect. So everything that's a law has a cause and an effect. The other law that I'm talking about is the law of transformation. And this one takes the outcomes of the events in our lives to another level. And there's a universal law around that as well. So there's countless examples to demonstrate the law of cause and effect. We can make up all kinds of things. It's everything we do or we don't do. And even not, as I said, not doing something has an effect. If you don't fix the hole in your roof, you're going to get a leak, right? You're going to get water inside. That's not doing something about the leak, but you still have an effect by it. You fix the leak and your house is going to stay dry. That's the effect of both. Just as an example of, it's not always the action. The effect is not always the result of an action. It can be the result of a non-action. I had my own powerful lesson of cause and effect when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I had heard kids in the neighborhood being sassy with their parents, so I thought I'd try it out. You know where that's going, don't you? I learned very quickly what causes a bar of soap to go in your mouth. Yeah, I washed out those sassy words and that sassy attitude real quick. I went through transformation immediately. I immediately applied the law of transformation based on my cause and effect. And now I have very deep knowledge about what cause and effect is firsthand. Yeah. So Rachel and I, my daughter and I, were watching the show Long Island Medium the other night. And there were two sisters that were getting a reading from the Teresa, the Long Island Medium. And they were talking about how strict their mother was, because their mother was the one that was coming through. And she said something, that made them feel like kids being disciplined in a sense. And they were laughing about it. And they said, our mother raised us right. They were very appreciative of how she raised them. She raised them to be respectful. That was what I learned with the bar of soap was respect. Woo. So these kids were appreciative that they were raised to be respectful of their parents. They weren't allowed to roll their eyes. They weren't allowed to stomp their feet to leave the room if they were mad. They weren't allowed to slam the doors. They could leave the room, but you had to be respectful. Well, my daughter being a professional nanny, she's just giving out a big hoorah around that and saying, oh my God, yes, that's what I'm talking about, she says. Because, yeah, there isn't enough of, if parents today would teach the kids of law and cause and effect around respect, because it does start in the home, our teachers wouldn't need therapy dogs to get through the day. School districts just purchase therapy dogs to support the teachers. So they have something to go to because it's so stressful. Yeah. A little bar of soap goes a long way, I tell you. Anyway, the law of cause and effect can show up in different ways sometimes, and most often it's less direct than what we think of in our mind when we think of it. Do you remember Newton's cradle? That somewhere way back when these little they made these little ball bearings in a row, and they're tied to a string to a holder, and you pull out one and it pops out on the other side. Well, if you pick up one sphere and hit it, the row of balls, one sphere will pop out on the other side. If you pick up two spheres and let them go, boom, two spheres pop out on the other side of, it's equal force that comes out on the other side. Well, my friend Ken uses the visual, the principle of Newton's cradle to talk about trauma. and how trauma shows up for us, and try how trauma shows up in our life. We have a traumatic event and it pops out somewhere else of equal force, of equal nature. If it's a big one and it's a two ball impact, two balls will pop out somewhere else. And it's not at the cause, it's not popping out right there, it pops out somewhere else in our life. And I thought that is a perfect analogy to think about trauma and the effects of trauma, trauma being the cause and the effect being the outcome in our life, or how it's demonstrated. And it might be demonstrated, we might have a traumatic event, and it might be demonstrated as fear. It might come out on the other end of our world as fear. It might be anxiety. It could be relationship dysfunction. It could be phobias. It could be addiction. It could be disease. It's like, okay, I see an effect that I don't like. I see this thing that's not working for me. Now I have to back engineer where's the cause of this, and trace it back. We have to go. Then we that's where we go deep into prayer. We employ our spirit team, and we make a vocal request. Show me where it is. Show me where. Show me where this is at. When you start asking, they start responding. They will respond. The spirit world. That's their job. Our job is to ask. Their job is to put it forward. And you keep digging. It's like, well, when was the first time I ever felt this feeling? Because we want to blame other. Well, they made me feel this way. They did that to me. But when was the first time you ever felt that feeling? And trace it back and keep digging. Well, I had this man. Then his memory might pop up, or something will remind you of something. It's like, oh, I completely forgot about that. And then you start digging into that, letting spirit guide you even further. What is, if it's money, if you're in a financial difficult situation, we might trace it back. Where's the first time that my belief around money was experienced? Well, it might be that you were taught that money is the root of all evil and you're a really good person. It might have been that something in you says you don't deserve it, or you're not smart enough. Those things are playing out today from way back when. That was the cause, but here's the effect. So keep digging till you find it. Love yourself enough to keep digging until you find it. And when you do, it's like, hopefully we get to that aha. This is it. This is the initial cause. And then it's up to us to do our part. We asked for help. We got the help. We got shown where it is. Now we have to do our part. We got to show up for ourselves. And it's a very empowering moment. It might be painful, might have some shame around it, might have some other unpleasant memories, other unpleasant associations, but that's okay. So what? Now you know. Knowledge is empowering. Knowledge is now I have a place to start. Yay. Let's go for it. Let's do it. So this is where the law of transformation comes in. We identify the root cause. We identify the situation, circumstance. Now the law of transformation comes in. And you have a choice to embrace the path of victimization and blame and stay there, or you have the opportunity for transformation and empowerment and a new beginning. So then you have a choice point. But it's beautiful. But now that you have the knowledge, we need to transform our lives into one that has meaning and fulfillment. The law of transformation brings that about. Transformation is the result of a fundamental shift in our perception about an experience. That's the law of transformation. Once we have an experience and we change our perception of it into an experience of meaningfulness and an elevated soul, the law is that it will change you and it will shift things for you. To quote the book, it says, "This shift can be so profound that people have been able to change a situation that appears debilitating into one that is meaningful and empowering." So Edgar Cayce said this about the law of transformation. He speaks like an old world. It's kind of interesting. "Let the law of the Lord, as thou knowest it in thine heart, be the rule of thy life and thy dwellings with thy fellow men." It's like a proclamation. But he's calling the law of transformation the law of the Lord. That part I found very interesting. He calls that the law of the Lord. And in our language today, what we would say is it's a spiritual law. It's a spiritual law that when you find root cause, that you have an opportunity for transformation. And that's the spiritual law. Edgar is reminding us that we know this law in our heart. We already know it. I'm not telling you anything new. It wasn't new when I read it. It just was in a different context that I could hear it in a different way. And it changed my perception of my thoughts around cause and effect. So, and as he says that, as thou knowest in thine heart, we know this law in our heart. We know that when we change our perception, that we change our whole being. And we know that when we take those circumstances and experiences that have not been positive, and we see it from another perspective, that it elevates. The experience has now elevated us. It's now grown us into a better version of ourselves, into more alignment with who we really are on the inside. And after all that is, why we're here on earth. That's why we're here on earth. We're here on this crazy earth, not to eat bonbons and have the easy life and live the life of a king and a queen and have people treat us as such. We're here to have experiences. We're here to break eggs. We're here to make a mess. That's what we do. We're just kids making a mess. And then we get to figure out the cause and effect. Oh, well, that wasn't so smart. That made a mess of my life. Okay, then let's do this. And that's what we're here for. We came to figure out how to elevate ourselves, and thus elevating each other, and thus elevating the planet. It's continues to elevate everything, that because we're one. We know the law of oneness. We're all one. We elevate, and it elevates everything else around us. The law of transformation is our bailout of our situations in life that we no longer want. Something you don't want, figure out how to transform it into an elevated experience. It's our way out of difficulties and limitations that we've created in our life or have been created in our life. Sometimes it's not always us, it might be the other person, but Spirit, God, never misses a chance to teach us something, to give us something for our growth and development. And even science is now saying or seeing the effects of the law of transformation in our psychology, in our physiology, in our electromagnetic systems. We can experience clarity. We experience peace. We experience better health when we let go of that thing and transform it into an elevated experience. Well, out of that experience, it was bad, but here's what I got out of it. I've grown. I'm a better person because of it. How many people have said they would never give their disease back, like cancer, because now they're a stronger person? Now I know my strength. So the improvement on our health is reflected also by having lower blood pressure, by changes in our heart rate, our respiratory system is better, our immune system is stronger, etc. You can just go down the list of things that are the outcomes of that transformation when we let go of, take that effect and turn it into a transformative experience. Another quote from Edgar Casey is, "For to his laws," and him is with a capital H, so I assume he's meaning God. "For to him, to his laws, must all come. The nearer we apply them, the greater blessings to self, the greater may be the blessings of self upon others." So my understanding of what he's saying here is the closer that we apply these laws in our life, we apply them to us and those around us, not expecting that person out there to do it for us or do it so that we can have a better life. If they would only change, I'll be better. So, but the closer it is to us, the laws of our life is a blessing. We create blessings for ourselves. We're blessing ourselves, meaning self-understanding and application is a great blessing. When we come to deeper understanding of our own self, it's a blessing. Taking responsibility for our life is a blessing. And for ourselves and for others. When we take responsibility for us, we're blessing not only ourselves, but we're blessing the people around us. And when you transform your experience, you're elevated in all of the ways, no longer living from a low vibrational frequency of blame and victimization. We need to remember that we are radiant beings. We radiate energy. We radiate light. And with this radiance comes this awareness of cause and effect. So we need to take that into another step, or can take it into another step of healing the world, healing our community through that radiance. We can radiate what we want to see in the world, meaning being what we want to see in the world. We are the effect, to be the effect of what we want to see. We want to let peace be the effect that we leave for others. We want our loving heart to be what affects others. We want to be the cause of a loving heart. We want to be the cause of peace in the world. We want to be the cause of the things we want to see: compassion, kindness. So let your compassion in those difficult situations be what changes the perception of the world around you, and let the Spirit do its magic. So with that, let's just have a little short meditation. Try to bring these principles, these laws into our conscious awareness, out of the subconscious into our conscious awareness. And take a nice deep breath and perhaps think about a situation that is not working for you. Situation that needs to be identified. Not too tough, because it's just for a few moments in this meditation. Just take a little situation and follow the thread down to the cause. Might have been something you said a few days ago. Might have been something that somebody else said a few days ago. And just embrace that. See that as a blessing. Be blessed by this moment in time. Be blessed by this identification, and allow that to empower you, because now you see it. Now you have something to work with. And call upon your angels to help you transform this, applying the law of transformation. And look deeper into the situation with an open heart and from an elevated place outside of the event, and be the observer. Be the observer from on high. And allow this to be revealed to you what the higher truth is, or what the higher truth can be from the higher perspective. What is this teaching you? How is it growing you? Through this, are you becoming a more refined person? Through this, are you becoming stronger? Are you getting clear of your own values and principles? And feel expanded by what it is that this moment is teaching you in some way. And now transform that and apply those rules. Really take those lessons deep inside your soul. That which it is teaching you, own it. Let it become part of your cellular structure. Let it become a part of the vocabulary that you're going to use in your tomorrows. And take it in very deeply. And we give grace around this situation now. And we release it and let it go. We just give it grace. It's not important anymore. What's important is the gift and the blessings that it brought you. And allow that gift and blessing to radiate the signal to the world of who you are from a soul's level. Who is your soul? Your soul is this beautiful, loving person. Your soul is this radiant being that came here to earth to do God's work, to do this work of love and light. And for that, we are so grateful. We all need each other, and we can work together, adding our vibrational frequency to the greater good of the whole, knowing that we are causing an effect of love. We are causing an effect of oneness. We are causing an effect of what we want to see in the world in a most beautiful and sacred way. Hold that into your heart. Let it be what you radiate with for the rest of the week. And when you're ready, bring yourself back into the room. How are we doing? Doing all right? All right. So I'm going to call Jennifer up here, and she's going to do the offering, and then we'll close the broadcast. And the closing prayer. Then we'll close the broadcast, and then we'll go into the rest of it. Announcements.
You have the cheat sheet.
Do I?
Good thing we're filming. So now is the time for our offering, the portion of the service. And so we know that whatever we're able to give, whether that's in the form of monetary donation, time, service, prayers, whatever it is, let's just put that gift between our hands, and just with deep gratitude, we accept it, we receive it here at the center. We're so blessed, and we know that each of us will and are living an abundant and a prosperous life. By being able to give, we also receive. And we know that it will bless us and bless the center for many years to come. And we say this in deep reverence. Amen. So I don't have an inspirational story to share, but, I get up here and I complain, yes, I do complain about summer ending, and so I've been trying really hard to find the beauty in the fall, and the leaves and all that. But I'm going to come back to it. So the other day I was up in Portland for my job, and we were pulling into the parking lot, and it just took me by surprise, all the colors of the leaves. Like, I know we have them here in Salem, but it was like, I was like, just a blast of color. And I was like, okay, I really am appreciating this time of year and to be in gratitude. And I have something to look forward to, spring and summer. So yeah, so I'm trying to, I'm falling into it. Falling into falls, but I am appreciating. um, so yeah, I'm doing my best. And I was sitting here looking at all the colors here and how Connie does all of this and decorates the altar. And I thought, okay, I'm grateful for fall.
And we didn't have a rose yet in this late in the season. Oh. Yeah, Karen brought a rose.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, I will invite you to join me in our closing prayer. Just say, Spirit, Divine, Creator, we are so grateful to gather on this beautiful Sunday morning, and we're grateful for the message that Reverend Madge shared. And we just take those words into our lives, allow them to resonate in the perfect way for each one of us. And we ask for blessing as we move throughout our week, that we are getting exactly what we need, whether it's healing or prayers or just being in joy for this season. We ask for blessings for those who are ill or maybe not feeling their best, that they will recover quickly, and those that are struggling in maybe a compressed or a depressed state, that they will feel the love and the light of Creator. We ask for all of this in deep reverence. Amen. Oh, now I get to close the broadcast. Thank you. Is there a thing? Thank you for all of you that have joined us online. We're grateful. And in the words of Dick, maybe that's see you later. Home sitter out. So I will, we have our calendar, and we also have the events on a page. So, and you get it in the newsletter. So we'll just do a few of the upcoming. We have,